Hello everyone and welcome to Superman Homepage Live, the live Superman show brought to you by supermanhomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. In this, our July 11th, 2022 show, we're going to be covering a range of topics, including what's happening with the upcoming DC League of Super Pets animated movie. Bless you, Michael. We're going to be
I was trying to see if I could not do that. I was just like, as soon as the thing came up, I was like, I gotta sneeze. I'm going to fight this.
Stop looking into the sun.
Thank you. Yeah. About that,
oh, good. We're also going to talk about what's happening with the cast of Superman and Lois and upcoming conventions. We're going to be talking about Smallville podcast, rewatch podcast, comic books, so much more. We're also going to turn to you for your questions and comments on any particular Superman topic you would like to discuss, and to let you know how all that works and how you can get involved in tonight's show without getting sneezed on. Let me introduce you to my co-host, Mr. Michael Bailey. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Steve. Thank God we're like thousands of miles.
It's alright, I'll edit it out after. It's not live, don't worry.
Yeah. Oh, we're doing it live. F it. Superman Homepage Live is live. That's in the name of the show.
Yep.
And, because of that, we want to hear from the people that are watching us live right now. And in the old days, there was a whole thing with Skype and don't call us and we'll call you and external speakers and stuff. But now it's a lot easier because all you have to do is go to supermanhomepage.com/live or click on this handy QR code. And I'm kind of amused that we've gone from having an app for that, where most of the Apple phones now you just open up your camera and it just picks it right up.
Yep.
So about halfway through the show, if we don't have too much going on, we start taking calls.
Yes, and if you're too shy to make a call and don't want to get on the phone or on the camera to talk to us tonight, feel free to post in the comments. There are fellow watchers, fans, Butson, Mark, Kenneth, JP, already in the comments there, in the chat room as we like to call it, having their say. Michael and I will keep an eye on those comments and any questions you might ask there, and we'll react to them as the show goes along. And if you'd like your comment or question featured live on the screen as we go along tonight, then that's called a super chat. All you have to do is click on the dollar symbol there on YouTube. A slider will appear on your screen. You decide on the dollar amount you're willing to donate. We'll feature your comment or question on the screen as we go to air. And you can also do super chats, that's what they're called. Super thanks and super stickers are also available by clicking on that little dollar symbol there, dollar sign symbol. And thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. And if you'd like to promote your show, your product yourself on this live show, then you can simply head to the join button. Click on the join button there on YouTube. There are different levels of perks to be involved. Alright, Mike, it's been quite a week now that Superman and Lois Season 2 is over. There is not a lot of... obviously, we don't have an episode to dissect and talk about, so we have other things to talk about. Always in the world of Superman, there's always something going on. And there is an upcoming movie, animated movie, DC League of Super Pets, that is imminent, a couple of weeks away, and they're really driving up the promotional material for that. This week they sent out a number of new posters for the Justice League characters and other human characters, if you like, in this movie, with more puns. Tall, Clark and handsome.
Yeah, I thought that was cute.
That's the Superman one. It's John Krasinski, the voice of Superman. Keanu Reeves voicing Batman. The Bruce is loose. Okay.
That sounds too much like another thing that is now associated with bad stuff, so I don't know if that's a good one.
Okay. Then you've got Olivia Wilde voicing Lois Lane. Life in the Fast Lane.
Is that one of the most adorable Lois Lanes ever?
Yeah, and the purple eyes are there, so that's nice, and the purple text.
Somebody was saying, no, I was looking at this poster the other day. I was like, that is one of the cutest Lois Lanes I've ever seen in my entire life.
Then we've got Jamila Jamil voicing the role of Wonder Woman, Out of Your League. That's Wonder Woman, definitely. Fair, yes. Also got Aquaman, Jermaine Clement, Bring a Towel. Okay, fair enough. Then you've got The Flash, voiced by John Early. Keep Up is the slogan on that one, which is fair enough as well. A few little freckles there on The Flash's face. And then you've got Cyborg, voiced by David Diggs. He's had some work done.
I see
Yeah,
what they
bit of a
said.
facelift. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's
That
funny.
works.
Let's joke about the fact that he almost died.
Yeah, exactly. Then you've got Dasha Polenko voicing Green Lantern, and Ready to Glow is the slogan on that one. And then you've got one for Lex Luthor, Smooth Criminal, which is kind of cool.
Miss Tessmacher, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Miss Tessmacher? Doesn't really
very good. No, it
flow
doesn't really flow
as
that well. Yeah, I think Michael Jackson
I like
chose
that
the right
one.
lyrics.
I'm also amused that Mark Maron is doing the voice of him.
Mm.
Because he was a comedian. He's got a very successful podcast and talk show. He was on the Glow show, but now he's Lex Luthor. So that just fascinates me.
Yes, and the smooth obviously being about his smooth bald head.
Yes.
Nice. So they're the new posters for DC League of Super Pets, which is out on July 29th there in the US, Canada, and other locations. So it's not too far away. And they released a new clip, a promo clip, a sneak peek clip from DC League of Super Pets. Check it out. Here it is. Golden... Oh, no, it's not the one I'm looking for. Paying Attention.
Okay, enough mayhem, thank you. We gotta go. My goodness. Look who's alive. Well, let's correct that little oversight, shall we?
Ace, deploy canine shield.
What is a canine?
Evade! Excellent shielding. That seemed incredibly painful.
Anybody want to switch powers?
You're up, pig.
Okay, PB, think big.
Squirrel, light him up.
I can't.
Of course you can. I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
I could hurt someone. Or they could hurt me. Or maybe me freezing like this is the worst thing.
Turtle, use your speed and get them out.
Where the heck am I?
You guys are terrible superheroes. I don't understand why you're not getting this.
Yeah, well, there's a lot that you don't understand about us, you fool. Maybe if you paid attention to...
Oh, I'm paying attention.
Help!
100% attention.
So thick and swole, his abs.
Oh!
There you go. That's the clip from DC League of Super Pets, thanks to Cartoon Network.
So it looks like Crypto's going to be a little bit arrogant and probably going to have to get taken down a peg or two. So that's on brand for treating a super character.
Yeah, not too dissimilar to what we've seen done with Superman in recent times. So especially when it comes to team up movies or stories. So they have.
Well, I doubt Crypto's going to get killed in this one.
No.
So
Yeah.
I mean, they could surprise me, but I think they learned their lesson with Optimus Prime back in 1986.
So you can check out DC League of Super Pets July 29th when it's released to theaters across the US and Canada and other locations around the world. Sadly for us in Australia, we have to wait till September, but nevertheless, it is what it is. Well, looking forward to that. I think it's going to be a hoot. A couple of people in the comments already saying that they're going to be taking their nieces, nephews, young kids, whatever, to go see this. I think this is great that we can finally have a DC superhero movie that all the family can go see.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
It looks fun, at least.
Yes, indeed. And I think the big draw cards, Dwayne Johnson's voice, it's always, him being involved in anything is always a draw card. So, hopefully lots of people go out and see it and it does well at the box office.
Yep.
Fingers crossed.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right, we mentioned Superman and Lois season 2, done and dusted. Fantastic finale. We talked about it last week. Fans in the UK have been languishing behind the rest of the world to see this series. Season 1 was very late showing there, but season 2 is coming quickly on the heels of season 1 for UK fans. It will premiere on what's the channel? BBC One. It'll premiere on BBC One on July 16th. So, a matter of days, you'll be able to get the premiere season 2 of Superman and Lois. It will start with a double bill on Saturday, July 16th at 5:25 p.m. on BBC One. It will also be made available on iPlayer the same day. So fans in the UK don't have to wait too long to continue to watch Superman and Lois, with season 2 imminent.
Unless, of course, you've been watching it illegally all along, in which case you can watch it again.
Yes, indeed. So there is that.
Not that we endorse these things.
No, not at all. And speaking of Superman and Lois, I recently put together another top 10 video of the top 10 best Superman moments from season 2 of Superman and Lois, as selected by me. Nobody else was involved. It's purely on me. If you didn't like my top 10 choices, then you can blame me. But I went through all the episodes of season 2 and selected some of the best Superman moments, and then ordered them in what to me were the best 10 moments from Superman, or about Superman, in season 2 of Superman and Lois. You can check that out on our YouTube channel. It's also available on our website if you're interested. It's pretty easy to find, and if you're here right on YouTube watching now, then you'll be able to see it pretty quickly, pretty easily, and I'm happy to send you the link. If you're unaware, it's in the comments, the link right now, so you can check that out on our website and our YouTube channel. Did you happen to check that out, Michael?
I have not had a chance yet, but I have also had the busiest week and a half ever, and it's not continuing. It's not going to let up till Saturday.
Okay.
So
Fair enough.
I do apologize.
No,
no,
good.
I saw that. I was like, ooh, I want to see what his choices were, so that I could choose different ones. Just so we
exactly.
could argue about
100%. That's what you do. If you want to check that out, let me know what you think. All right. Speaking of Superman and Lois, the cast of the series will be attending the Comic-Con Wales in South Wales in August. Tyler Hoechlin, Elizabeth Tulloch, Jordan Elsas and Alex Garfin will be in attendance across August 6th and 7th, as will James Masters, who played Brainiac on Smallville. Fans can take photos with celebrities, get autographs, enjoy an intimate meet and greet experience, obviously all for a cost. It will be taking place at ICC Wales, the Caldra Catsash Road in Newport, Monmouthshire, anyway, in South Wales. I can never pronounce the British locations. They're always look like they're spelt one way and then pronounced another way. I remember playing Monopoly, and some of you got Leicester Square. It's like for the longest time we used to say Leicester, but that's the Australian version of Monopoly.
To be fair, there's the whole dropping of the H in things too. Like I would say Birmingham, and people in the UK, some people in the UK may say Birmingham. And then there's here in the United States where we can't agree on anything, much less how to pronounce things. So near where I grew up, you either had, if you were outside of the area, and you were driving by, it would be Lancaster. But if you lived in the area or near it, it's Lancaster. So it's just, the language is just weird.
Yes.
I love when people say that's a made-up word.
Everything's made up.
I don't know how to break this to you. Everything is a made-up word.
Exactly. Oh, we had the best time when I was in Metropolis for the Superman celebration a couple of years ago, and everyone would be saying, pronounce this, pronounce that, and we say things like aluminium, and you guys say aluminum.
Yeah, but the thing with aluminium is that puts an extra letter in the word, though.
But it's actually in there.
Weird.
Spell it.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess I never really thought about it. And I look at like rolls of aluminum. My favorite of British versus American is I like controversy.
Yes.
I just think
controversy. It's controversy.
Yeah. It's
not controversy. How'd you pronounce it?
Yeah, we say controversy.
Yes, and other people say controversy.
Controversy, and I just think it just sounds better to me. Like I like that.
We could go on for hours talking about the differences between ways things are pronounced. At least we can agree it's Superman.
Yes.
There isn't too much.
Superman.
All right, so that's in Wales, the comic convention. Check it out. Still on TV side of things, we mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. It's actually just about to happen. The first episode of Talkville, the podcast by Michael Rosenbaum and Tom Welling, rewatching every episode of Smallville, the TV series. It kicks off July 13th, so only a couple of days away. New episodes of Talkville will drop each subsequent Wednesday and be available at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, Pocket Casts, and Google Podcasts, among other platforms. Not sure if it'll be available on YouTube. You never know. So you'll be able to check out the rewatching of Smallville with Tom and Michael, which is really interesting because I saw a kind of a snippet where Tom Welling started saying to Michael Rosenbaum that he had a very evil plan where they were going to get to those episodes where, was it 3 seasons? That
seasons 8, 9, and 10.
Michael Rosenbaum was not involved with the show and make him sit down and watch all 3 seasons.
Yeah, they're pulling in some other Smallville podcasters on the show too. I'm undecided. I'm not in a Smallville mood right now, so I may let like a bunch of episodes pile up and just barrel through them because that's how I tend to kind of like to listen to things. I am amused though. I really want them to get to season 8 now, just to force because when you look on the video and you see the moment where Rosenbaum realizes it's going to be like 60 episodes that he has to watch that he's not in.
Yeah, that's funny.
But I will say this. I think on those episodes, his commentary will be more interesting. Like, why am I... Tom. His name is Tom Welling, Mike. He played Clark Kent for 10 years. You met him last year. He was this close to you. It was really weird. But the... Tom's got like the great behind the scenes stuff that'll get sparked, especially like the episodes he directed and stuff. But Rosenbaum will be able to kind of sit back and kind of watch it without having been there.
Yeah.
So it'll be like kind of an interesting perspective on that. I'm looking forward. I'm hoping they get that far.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Because man, the push for this, I cannot go on Twitter and scroll like every time I, raise it up again, there's another thing about Talkville. Somebody excited about it, an ad for it. Of course I follow them on Twitter, so you're seeing that. So they're pushing it, and it's going to be really interesting to see how far they get.
Well, that's the thing. A couple of people in the comments already saying. Mark Lax said, "I wonder, there's over 200 episodes, so." They'll be at it for a long time. Will they make it? And Mind the Gap says, I bet they tap out by season 3.
It just may take them a long time to get there. They'll probably do a bunch of episodes and then take a break, which is the smart thing to do, by the way. If you're tackling a long-form podcast where you're indexing something, you might want to plan in breaks and not say, hey, this is only going to take 5 years. And then... 12 years later, you're still
going
halfway there. Not that I know anything about that. But still, no, I really, like, when it was first announced, I was a little snarky about it. Now I'm really pulling for them. Now I really want them to just get through the whole thing because it'll just be like this interesting artifact. Unless civilization falls, which,
it's imminent.
TikTok.
Well, if you'd said back in, 2008, 2009, that you and I would be doing this, 12 years later or whatever it is, we probably wouldn't have thought that we'd be going 12 years long, or we wouldn't have set out a 12-year plan. So you never know.
Yeah, it is weird to think that because it was 2011 that Scotty V stepped down from the main show, and you're like, I want to do this weekly and live. And I'm like, okay. And there have been a couple times where I'm like, do I really want to do this every week? And then I always do it. And it's always fun. So I always kind of talk myself back into it. It's just those moments where you're tired.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Which is why I'm saying, Tom and Michael, we don't know each other, and you're probably not even watching this, but plan breaks.
Yeah, have season breaks like you do at the end of a season. You know, go 6 months and then come back for next season.
And I like, you know, Rosenbaum's kept up with his podcast on a regular basis and has really grown that into what seemed to start as kind of just like a fun thing for him to do into a serious, like, you know, ongoing concern. Because he's got it on YouTube, he's got it, you know, the audio version of it, and that's always, you know, it's gotten to be really something he's good at. I think sometimes he talks about himself a little too much, but that's just a personal thing. But he's got, I mean, that Annette O'Toole episode was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. I learned things that I did not know before about, and learning some stuff about how her and Michael McKean wrote music for A Mighty Wind and stuff like that. So what I think is going to be the best thing about this is we're now at that point, since it's been 20 years, or now over 20 years since the show started, it's going to come around now that all of the naysayers are going to get drowned out by the people that are going to be talking about how groundbreaking the show was. So they're like right on they're on the crest of that. And I think it's the best time to do it. Like not do it at the 20th anniversary because that's too obvious. Do it the next year, and then ride the wave of that show. Just it's like the Star Wars prequels. Like those are getting totally like rethought now, and the people that were kids when those movies came out are now adults looking at the adults that mocked it at the time and telling them to shut up, essentially. So
that's my childhood.
Yeah. This is the thing. I was talking with some fellow Superman podcasters, hi Alan and Rob, and they came in the 90s, and their Superman is Dean Cain and the New Adventure Lois and Clark, and I remember that show being on. I remember being exciting for it, but it wasn't like the thing that got me into Superman. No. But now you have those people entering their 30s, and it's now more relevant. It's just really weird.
Goes in cycles.
I'm getting old.
Yeah, well, you and me both.
So
there you have it. It's just a fact. All right, we're going to get into the fan favorite segment of our show before we take a break. So let's get into that right now. It's a pretty quick one. All right, our fan favorite question from last week was, what is your favorite Superman hoodie?
Douglas Meacham wrote in, my favorite hoodie is a thinly layered one I bought at Walmart a few years back. It's ideal for early autumn weather and has a nice color pattern. That is got a nice color pattern.
Very nice. Thank you, Douglas. Good to see a photo of Doug. He and I hung out at Superman Celebration a couple of years ago. Was a great friend and continues to be. And it's good to see him being part of the fan favourite segment of our show. And you've got a favourite hoodie right there.
Yep. Given to me by my wife back in 2011, 2012, one of those Christmases.
So does that have
and it's been basic.
Different head on each side of the hood?
No, it's the same head.
Oh, okay.
It's just so on one side you got that one, and then
Okay, the other side. Yeah.
You don't get to see the faces very much because I don't pop my hood up. Because I'm one of these idiots that just walks around and gets rained on. I don't know why. But no, my wife gave this to me, and, the S is starting to crackle a little bit, the S symbol is, but unless it's, like, super cold, and even then I'll just wear more layers. This is my winter coat.
Yeah.
Because, and I love walking around with it on because, it's so weird. There have been so many times where I have stopped and I'm not talking like I've rescued somebody from a train, but it's just I feel like if I'm walking around and it's zipped up, that if somebody needs help, I have to help them because I'm wearing the S, and you have to. If you wear the S, you're representing something.
So you'd like just randomly looking up trees to see if there's cats.
Yeah.
Caught.
Well, it's like one time. This was years ago. I was walking into Walmart, and this guy he looked in distress, and I just said, "Hey, man, you okay?" And he was just completely lost. He knew he knew he was at Walmart, obviously, but he was trying to get somewhere else. He had no idea how the city was laid out, so I just gave him some directions, and that seemed to make him happy. So it's stupid things like that, but it's not stupid.
No, not at all. No, if you're helping somebody, it's never stupid. But it's just funny how you feel different when you're wearing the S around out in society. You've seen me wear the royal blue hoodie that I've often got on. It's just a standard Superman logo on the front, very similar to yours, but without the adornments on the hood itself. But beyond that, I don't really have, surprisingly, a lot of Superman hoodies. Heaps of Superman t-shirts. But I need to invest in another Superman hoodie because that one is pretty stock standard. Try to get something a little bit funkier.
I thought about it because they had them a couple years ago. Walmart had baseball jackets, and I just didn't like how the Superman one fit or looked. So I don't want to buy another one because I like this one so much. And there's also that fear that if you get another one, your wife's going to be like, "What? The one I gave you is a so there's that."
Yes.
But no, I love that Doug wrote in. It's funny. It's feast or famine with these questions.
Yes. We get inundated with answers, or we get Buckley.
Or we get one, and that's cool. I think this next one is going to definitely spark some debate and some pretty good answers.
Okay, well, what is our new fan favorite question? Because Doug was the only response we got to the hoodie one.
What is your favorite episode of Justice League or Justice League Unlimited animated series? Yep,
that's the question for this week. Get involved in the fan favorite question with the email address scrolling across the bottom of your screen right now, info@supermanhomepage.com. Let us know what your favorite episode of either the Justice League or Justice League Unlimited animated series was or is, and we will read those out and feature any images we can from those episodes when we return to the fan favorite question next week. So there it is, info@supermanhomepage.com. All right, we're at the halfway mark of tonight's show. We're going to take a quick break, play some messages, and then come back on the flip side to do This Week in History and talk comic books, merchandise, and so much more. We'll be back right after these messages. Don't go anywhere.
We'll be back in a moment with the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by.
If you're enjoying Superman Homepage Live, then please like and share this video with your family and friends. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, then you can click on the bell to receive notifications whenever we post a new video. You can also join our YouTube membership program, just click the join button below. Or you can become a patron and support our website by going to patreon.com/supermanhomepage.
up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane. No, it's SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. SupermanHomepage.com, covering the world of Superman from the 1930s to today. News, reviews, rumors, and reports. SupermanHomepage.com for all your Superman comics, TV shows, movies, cartoons, radio shows, and more. Everything you ever wanted to know about the Man of Steel and more. SupermanHomepage.com.
Thanks, Superman Homepage, for all the support over the years. I really appreciate it.
I'm Matt Balmer, the voice of Superman and Superman Unbound, and this is the Superman Homepage.
Right here on Superman Homepage.
Kraft Macaroni and Cheese presents new DC superheroes. T-Rex is cooling down his cronies. Has a cheesy nightmare Oni.
Superheroes restore our cheesy harmony.
Make a daring rescue Oni. Safeguard cheesy macaroni. Kraft presents new DC superheroes Macaroni and Cheese with Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and more. The evil villains overthrown with superpowers Phantasmagonia. T-Rex sure wakes up grateful Oni. For DC superheroes Macaroni.
Bit of an earworm.
Yeah, Steve, people were paid to make that ad. Like an ad agency had their people sit down. They pitched that. Kraft said, and DC, because they had to give approval too, said, no, let's go for that. And that was what happened. Though I do remember eating some of those. We would get the character stuff for a while, and then they started piling up, and then they go bad after a while, because even though that cheese is powder, it doesn't last forever. And when you make a bad batch, you never want to eat it ever again.
I can honestly say I've never had mac and cheese.
It's when done right, because there's really two different, well, technically three. If you're talking like good mac and cheese, there's a roux involved, and you mix up the cheese and the milk and stuff, and you make kind of a sauce, and you blend that with the pasta and you bake it. That stuff is the Americanization of macaroni and cheese, in that it is powder that you mix with butter and either milk or water. Milk tends to make it a little too creamy, and you just mix it up. And it's one of those things that, like, hey, do you want some food for cheap? Here you go. Now, there's a creamy version, and there's a war with all of that. I don't know how you feel about carbs, but if you like carbs, you would really like mac and cheese.
Okay, there you go. Mind the Gap saying that Kraft ad campaign predates the show, speaking of the Justice League animated series. So there you go. And it was definitely the style for all the merchandise at that time. It seemed to be the way they went, tying it in.
Because it was the style at the time, when I had an onion on my belt.
Wow. All right. Where were we? This week in history. Let's get into that.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go through this thing that's going to take like 30 seconds.
I know. What's with this week?
Come with me now, my son, as we break through the bonds of your earthly confinement, traveling through time and space.
Jumping all the way ahead to Sir.
Yeah, puberty.
Apparently, I'm going through puberty again. We need more special sauce. Put that mayonnaise in the sun. We're going to jump to 1972 on this one, with Superman number 256. I love that this cameraman just wants Clark to get turned around so that they can see him getting attacked by this woman, who is, of course, exposing that he's Superman. There's also the dagger that ripped the sky and Brother for a Day. We're going to go 20 years into the future for Superman, the Man of Steel, number 15, which is still part of the Blaze Satanis War. Not cover by John Bogdanove, but interiors by Keith Giffen and Kerry Gamble. And it's really interesting. Giffen draws the scenes in hell, so that they have like this totally different look to them. It was actually, That's actually a better story than I think than it gets remembered for. I think it gets kind of lost because it's between Panic in the Sky and the Death. So a lot of that year just kind of doesn't get thought of all that much. Jumping to 2002, speaking of storylines that, wow, didn't really make much of a difference in the long run. Superman number 184. I'm going to ask you about this, Steve, because I've long thought, because a year before this, we had the first Return to Krypton.
Yeah.
And you remember when that cover with Superman, like, just screaming to the heavens with the two versions of Krypton on either side.
Yes.
And it looked for like 5 seconds that the Silver Age was coming back. You remember how everyone freaked out, right?
Right, yes, of course.
Yeah, like the message boards, when message boards were a thing on the site, I remember people arguing about that. Do you think that's why they did this story, where they're like, yeah, about that? Not really. Or do you think this was the plan all along?
It's possible, because back in the day, DC were very much involved in a lot of the online stuff that was going on. I mean, at the time, we had the editors, multiple editors at the Superman books answering questions from fans directly on our website. So they were more involved than they seem to be now with the fan base. And obviously, we didn't have Facebook or Twitter or that kind of stuff back then. So they didn't have their own platform other than the DC website, which they really didn't get involved with that much. So it's possible that this was a reactionary thing.
Because it seems weird to go to all that trouble, and then Our Worlds at War happened.
Yeah.
Which kind of slowed things up. And then to do this, at some point I'm just going to have to talk to the editor and see, it's like he may not remember, he may not want to answer the question, but I think it's worth asking, because it seems weird to put a lot of effort into what was a pretty decent 4-part story, even though it was doing something that fandom, or at least a vocal segment of fandom, doesn't mean they're a majority, was very much against. I just remember everyone going, no! Just, in message boards. Jumping ahead to 2012, we have, again, a book I know I read and have absolutely no memory of. God, that looks terrible. I mean, the artwork's fine. It's just everything about that screams, hey, we really want it to be the 90s again.
Yeah.
But it's 2012. So, yeah. And remember the days when they would put the movie titles and the TV show titles on the
top
front of the cover?
Mm-hmm.
God, that was ugly. Going into the real world, on July 10th, which was just this past Sunday, Joe Shuster was born in 1914.
The co-creator of Superman.
Co-creator of Superman. I'm wondering how bad his eyesight was in that picture, because I know he was having problems even back then.
Born in Canada.
And speaking of... born in Canada. That's why we had the Daily Star, because that was the paper in Toronto. There was even a commercial, like a Canadian commercial, with this kid on a train talking about how one day he wants to create a character like that can do everything Superman can do. July 11th, we were talking about him in the first part of this show. Michael Rosenbaum was born in 1972, and it always weirds me out that the Smallville cast is the one that is closest in age to us. It's just like, because Welling was born in 74, which is only 2 years older than me, and 4 years younger than you, or 3 or 4 years. And then Rosenbaum's, like, they're both two of my sister's ages. So it's just kind of weird. And they were playing, well, not Rosenbaum, but, Welling was playing a teenager for 4 of those seasons.
I know.
When he did not look like a teenager at all.
Not at all. So, that was This Week in History. Thank you for that, Michael. And happy birthday to Michael Rosenbaum. Not that he listens to the show, but we have met. We both met him.
Yes, he is a very animated person.
Very charming and charismatic.
He seemed... I just remember him sticking the microphone in my face because I had to remind them of the 5th season episode where Clark got exposed to black kryptonite. That was weird. It's on video somewhere.
Yeah,
he was a pretty nice guy.
Very nice guy. Yes. All right, we do have our regular caller waiting online. It is Mark Lax. We'll bring him in right now. Hello, Mark.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Doing well, and yourself?
Oh, okay, not too bad.
That's good. We're about to talk comic books, so let's have a look at the comic books that are available this week. And this is what we have to look forward to. We have Dark Crisis Worlds Without a Justice League Superman #1. It's a one-shot, so it's a one-off comic book. No, that is not Robin on the cover. It is his son, John. You'll have to read the comic book or the review.
A little confusing, but yeah.
Yeah, the review is up on the website tomorrow. We also have it in a variant cover right there, which makes up my background on the green screen tonight. We also have...
There's nothing that a father wants more in life than to have his son wear the costume of his friend's sidekick. I'm going to buy this just to see what the heck is going on.
There you go. All right. So we also have DC vs. Vampires Coffin Edition and DC vs. Vampires Crypt Edition. I don't know what the differences are or why it's... Oh, well, it says there, hang on a sec. The Coffin Edition collects issues 1 to 3 of the series, and then the Crypt Edition collects issues 4 to 6 of the series. So they're trade paperbacks, if you like, or collections of the original stories. Don't know why they did that, but there you have it. Superman...
Like the 80s inspired covers?
Yeah, yes, exactly. Superman, Son of Kal-El, #13. The one that we interviewed... Nia, what's her name that played Nia now? Nicole Maines. Our exclusive interview. She discussed issue #13, which she co-wrote with Tom Taylor. It is out this week as of Tuesday, July 12th, and that is also available in this variant cover and that variant cover right there. And the review will be up on our website tomorrow if you're interested in checking that out. And there's also the trade paperback of Injustice Gods Among Us Year Zero Complete Collection available tomorrow as well. Any interest in any of those?
Like it's a exciting week. I mean, a lot of diversity there.
Yeah, the Superman one-shot of Dark Crisis Worlds Without a Justice League is an interesting one. And the cover has done its job if Michael is picking it up simply because he's intrigued.
Yeah, it's interesting. I could say that to say the least.
Well, it's written by Tom King, right?
That's right.
Yeah, so that
so trauma is involved.
Yeah, Well,
read it and find out, or read it and read it.
You have to read it. Yeah.
And Superman, Son of Kal-El, #13, obviously. So it's two big ones this week. To look out for. Looking forward to checking out both of those issues. Was there anything in particular, Mark, you wanted to talk about before I go on to our other topics that we're going to discuss this week?
No, not particularly. Just
okay.
Just
happy for you to hang out. Yeah. Cool. Well, here is one I'm interested for both of you guys to be talking about, and that is the fact that Hershey's are back with their superhero milk chocolate candy bars for the third year in a row. They're branding their chocolate bars with Warner Brothers Consumer Products and DC to feature DC superheroes, and they've got the new generation of superheroes within the legacies of the ones we love. So you've got John Kent there, and you've got some of the other Wonder Woman and Batman characters that have recently been introduced. Collect all 10 heroes before they're gone in a flash, it says.
Well, will there be? Will they have the Superman S on there instead of where it says Hershey? It's a Superman S.
Looks like it.
That would have been
that would be cool. That would be great. Yeah.
They've got the S. They've got the Superman S, the Wonder Woman, the Bat symbol, and BAM on the bottom of one of them there. Yeah. So
So Emerald Lagasse got referenced in this. That's an outlier. I'm kind of impressed with that. No,
I didn't
the
realize
funny thing is
he was a DC superhero.
well, that cooking, it's something else.
Yeah.
Every time I go to the Walmart that's near my work, I'm amused because they still have all the signage up from last year's Hershey thing. So I'm wondering if they're just going to put this stuff on that and just let it go and figure no one's going to care. I know that Tom Taylor is very excited that a line of his dialogue is on the John one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of cool that they're mixing it up with the New Frontier characters and the classic ones. I'm shocked that it's a Jim Lee Superman on that box.
Never used before.
Seen that coming. I don't know why I'm so snarky tonight, guys. I do apologize.
No, it's all right.
So we hadn't noticed anything different.
No.
Fair.
Some people are saying they're already out in stores. The information I got direct from Hershey's was that they would be hitting stores shelves in late July, early August, but some people are saying they're already out there and have already purchased them. So, head to your wherever you get Hershey bars and check it out.
Yes, which are not as good as they should be.
Okay, fair enough. If you say so.
We were the kids. We were the kids that asked our parents, please buy the Superman peanut butter, and of course it's just Superman on the cover, on the jar, and it doesn't taste any different than any other peanut butter. But it was Superman, so we had to have it. So these Hershey, these Hershey chocolates,
Same thing indeed. All right, and I don't know about this one, but I'm guessing it's somebody knows what they're all about. But it's the Superman Hello Good Smile minifigure. It's a new chibi figure series by Good Smile Company. I'm guessing it's an Asian company. The neck of each figure includes a simple joint that can be moved left and right, made with the creative direction of art director Shigeto Koyama. Hello Good Smile figures feature a cute chibi design that will leave you wanting more and more. Approximately 4 inches tall. And there's a Batman and a Wonder Woman version in the series as well. They're $15.99 and available in January, so you can pre-order yours now. And look, that's the head moves. Look, have a look. Ready? The head simply moves to the side.
They're cute, little anime. They're cute.
It's got a new 52-ish Superman symbol on that, though. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, a little bit. Odd. I don't know who collects these things, but I'm sure that there's a market for them.
Well, these kids today with their hula hoops and their Dan Fogelberg records, I'm sure this is
Fogelberg.
This is right in line with that.
Yeah,
this is a great way of saying there are 3 old men on this.
Yeah,
show
that's
right now.
exactly.
I have no idea what's going on.
No receding hairlines on this show whatsoever. Oh God Almighty! All right, so that's an interesting one. As I said, they're pre-ordered now from Entertainment Earth for their release in January next year. But one that does intrigue me and looks a little bit cool is the McFarlane Toys Future State Worlds of War Superman action figure. Superman has gone to Warworld, where he fights as a gladiator in the deadly pits of Mongol's Warworld. That's an excellent head sculpt.
Yeah, that is. It's. I guarantee that thing doesn't stand up on its own, but just the entire design of it. The shield looks great. The tattered cape. The you're right. The head sculpt. The S. Chest thing. I mean, it's just
a shield.
It's probably outside of like the Action Comics 1000 Superman, the best one that they've produced so far.
Yeah, it looks pretty
Absolutely.
cool. Yeah, and this is available, will soon be released with further details on McFarlane Toys' website. We'll let you know when it's available to pre-order, so keep an eye on further details for their McFarlane Toys Future State Worlds of War Superman action figure. Looks pretty cool. Either of you guys baseball fans?
I follow the Yankees because my dad was always a fan, but that's about it.
Okay, well, the St. Louis Cardinals have doing a DC superhero comic night, DC Comics superhero night. When it's just this week, Wednesday, July 13th. They'll be taking on the LA Dodgers, and they'll have a DC Comics superhero night when fans can purchase a special themed ticket, which will entitle them to receive an exclusive DC Comics Cardinals t-shirt featuring our favorite superheroes and obviously players.
That's the Rebirth merchandise. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah. It seems weird that everything keeps having the Rebirth designs
Superman,
on them.
Yeah, it's just like, I liked that costume. I really wish they would make a I really wish McFarlane would just, they released that other Rebirth one, but it was the standard Rebirth, like the first one with the blue boots, which I didn't buy. This is where I'm picky. If you look at the figure, like the way the S symbol is sculpted, it's like dripping at the bottom, and it looks like if it falls, that's going to break right off. So I passed on it, but it's just like every time they release a Rebirth figure of Superman, it's that first costume. It's never the second one. I'm not going to put out there a conspiracy theory that the first one was designed by Jim Lee.
Oh, well, that's right.
I'm just going to do the talk show host thing of putting it out there and letting you all make up your own minds.
Fair enough.
The merchandise isn't consistent. Every different thing that you get with Superman or whomever is always, one is a New 52, one is Rebirth, one is more current. It's all different. I guess that's good. It's just a.
I wonder if there's a cheaper rate, like for merchandising, if you go with something that's New 52 compared to Rebirth to compared to current. Like, is there, or were these things just kind of put in the pipeline so far back that that's the design they went with, and then by the time they've come around to actually making it happen, the designs in the comic books have changed?
Well, if you look at like the animated film, the Death of Superman started with the New 52 costume, and by the time they got to the second one, it's the Rebirth. But at that point, the classic costume was back in the comics. So, yeah, I've said it before and I said it again. The guy or woman that is in charge of Superman merchandise for the past 10 years is like a raging alcoholic at this point. They are just pulling their hair out because every 5 minutes. Like the Batman guy is cool because he knows the costume's going to change. He's used to this.
Yeah,
but that Superman person, it's just, I feel so bad for them.
Yeah.
No, fair enough. Well, if you're interested and if you're a baseball fan and you're going to head to this game, you'll be able to pick up your item at the Budweiser Terrace themed tickets kiosk, but from 5:15 to 7:30 p.m. So if you're a St. Louis Cardinals fan, or you're headed to the game, and you're a comic book fan, they usually don't mix, but hey, I'm a rugby league fan here in Australia. I'm a sports fan, so comics and sports do mix from time to time.
Yeah. I always say that, there's comic book fans who are sports fans, and sports fans who are comic book fans. But I always say, for me, that the comics, these are my sports, where everyone goes nuts about their teams. But this is what I do. I go nuts about my books and who's writing it and what's happening. This is my sports.
Yeah, and
that's what I always say.
It can be as bloody a sport as actual physical sport sometimes.
Sure can.
Your life can be in danger as a comic book fan.
And your team gets to mix things up every once in a while.
Yeah, we have had, with Russell Crowe as a co-owner and being involved with the Man of Steel movie, and at Warner Brothers, he has put the Superman symbol on our playing outfits from time to time.
Really?
So, yeah.
So is there going to be Thor stuff now that
that
went over?
Well, there could be. I don't know. But a couple of years ago, some of the other teams in the competition did a Marvel superhero round where they designed their jerseys around different Marvel superheroes. So a team that wears green, the Canberra Raiders, they're called the Green Machine. They wore Hulk-inspired jerseys because it was a green design. So,
that's applicable to rugby in a way that I don't think other characters are.
Indeed. All right, just quickly, a couple of videos on our website if you want to check them out for the DC Superhero Girls, for the Super Friends, Challenge of the Super Friends. That's where they're at this time around. Here's a quick snippet of Supergirl dealing with gold kryptonite in DC Superhero Girls. Check this one out if I can find the link. Here it is, golden kryptonite.
You go. Until the kryptonite wears off, I'll just slow you down. Without my powers, I'm just dead weight.
Hey, remember that time you saved that kid whose hand got stuck in the mailbox? Or when you rescued that boy with the loose shoelaces who nearly got dragged under the escalator? Or how about when you freed that guy who glued himself to the toilet?
Those are all Garth.
True, but each time you helped him. And it didn't take powers. It took seeing someone in need, then doing something about it. Powers may be what makes Supergirl super, but you can't tell me they're what make Kara Danvers a hero.
Oh, how cute. So you can watch that full clip at our website when Kara has to deal with not having powers. There's a couple of others there if you want to check them out. And also don't forget, I did an unboxing video for New Zealand Mint's Action Comics #1 Superman silver coin. Here it is right there in my little hands. So it's a little coin. Thanks to New Zealand Mint for sending that to me. I did an unboxing video where you can check that out and have a look at it in complete video on our website and our YouTube channel if you're interested. But that pretty much brings us to the end of the show. Thank you, Mark, for calling in. Always great to chat with you.
Greg, thanks, guys. Love being on the show. You know that.
You're always welcome. Thanks. Never feel like you're calling too often. We always love to hear from you.
Well, I'll call again next week.
Sounds good, Mark. All right, buddy. Take care. Right. See you then.
All right, guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was Mark Lax. Anything you want to touch on, Michael? I've seen you post a few podcast episodes this week.
I back in 2018, I had this wacky idea to do like a daily mini series, basically, looking at like every 100 issues of Action Comics, and in the middle of it, my dog died, and I lost I didn't want to do anything really after that, much less the thing that I was working on when everything was happening. But I had these two great conversations, one with John Wilson, who's currently doing Superman in Crisis, which I know Mark is a huge fan of, and another Bob Fisher who does Superman Forever Radio. So I just decided, hey, why not put them out there? It's a fun conversation about Action Comics #100, which, in terms of anniversary stories, is not the most earth-shattering. It's literally some dude trying to figure out who Superman is, because it was the late 40s, and that's what Superman was doing.
Yeah. Fair enough. That sounds cool. So where can people find that?
www.fortressofbaileytude.com. You can also find It All Comes Back to Superman on Spotify, because everyone's on Spotify.
Yes, not us.
And I think it's on Audible. I have to double check that because I know most of the other shows are on Audible. So just different ways that people can hear me yak about stuff.
Sounds good. Look forward to it. Well, that pretty much brings us to the end of tonight's episode. Before we tune out, I want to thank everyone for watching tonight's episode of Superman Homepage Live. Thanks to Mind the Gap, JP, Kenneth, Mark, JP, I said JP, so many others in the comments. Thank you for your spending your hour with us this evening. We appreciate you guys tuning in each week. And if you missed part of the show, tune in late, want to check it out in full all over again, you'll be able to do so both at supermanhomepage.com and our YouTube channel. But Michael and I will be back next week on Monday, July 18th for another edition of Superman Homepage Live at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time. Hope you'll join us then. Until then, be sure to check out supermanhomepage.com for all your daily news updates on everything surrounding the Man of Steel. Thank you, Michael.
Oh, thank you, Steve. A pleasure as always.
And thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. We'll see you next week, folks. Make sure you visit supermanhomepage.com for everything to do with the Man of Steel. I'm Steve Eunice, on behalf of myself and Michael. Thanks for watching. See you later.